Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Ray Holland, and I work for the Dauphin County Library System. I work at the branch in Likens, known as the Northern Dauphin Branch. Ordinarily at this time each year, we would have a Christmas/holiday concert, and I would be playing the mountain dulcimer, and show that to you a little bit. And we'd have folks in the room here singing along, and we'd be doing that at a few different branches. But as you know, this holiday season is very different from ones before. So instead, I am providing the music. You, when you play the video, are providing the sing-along. We will be providing lyrics as well, and these are all very traditional Christmas carols and Christmas songs, so they'll probably all be familiar to you. I'd like to start with Angels from the Realms of Glory. Our next song is Angels We Have Heard on High. And when you hear the phrase Gloria in Excelsis, or I should say when you sing that, know that you may be singing the words to the most ancient Christmas carol there is. There is reference in a letter from, I believe it's a 2nd century bishop, mentioning to people to remember to sing the Angels song. Now, probably not the music, but these words, Gloria in Excelsis, certainly would have been part of that. Angels we have heard on high. Angels we have heard on high. Our next song is a very familiar one, maybe. Away in a Manger. Away in the Manger. Different variations even on the title. And it turns out if you decide to sing that with your friends, you should really check first because there are several different melodies that are used for it. I'll start with the most familiar, but I'm going to throw in one or two of the others as well, just so that you'll say, oh yeah, that's right, I do remember hearing it that way. But in the end, we'll come back to what I believe is the most familiar one, Away in a Manger. Away in a Manger, 3 different versions. I mentioned before that this is a mountain dulcimer. It comes from the southern Appalachian Mountains, but its ancestry traces all the way back to India, at least. We know that when Crusaders interacted in the Middle East, they picked up instruments that were related to the sitar. If you remember Ravi Shankar from a few decades back playing the sitar. Well, by the time the instrument got to Europe, it was called the zither. But you can see where they got zither from sitar. And basically a zither is any instrument where the sound box and the fingerboard are the same length. Now for comparison, think of a guitar. The fingerboard only goes part way. Or any member of the violin family, likewise, the fingerboard only goes part way. But this is a member of the zither family. So is the auto harp, if you think of the Carter Cash family playing that. Another instrument called the dulcimer, but totally different, the hammered dulcimer, has a trapezoid shape, stands on a stand, and you play it with little mallets. That is also in the zither family. The mountain dulcimer, in particular, we think it came across with immigrants during the colonial time, or certainly right after that, because there are different versions of it from different folks that settled all throughout the southeastern area, particularly coming in through Philadelphia and then moving on into the Appalachians. Some of the instruments, and there are ancestors from Germany, Iceland, Italy, England, different ones, different variations. Sweden, some had 5 strings, some had 3, some had 8, but eventually it became standardized shortly after the Civil War, I'd say, into something with an hourglass shape and typically 3 strings. Now mine is actually equipped for 4 strings, just adds a little extra resonance to it. And you have some sort of rustic sound holes. Perfectly traditional, it would be hearts. Mine happens to be a hummingbird and some leaves. People ask me, oh, did you make that? And I say, no, but I can show you scars on my hands from every time I've tried my hand at woodworking. No, this one came from a company actually in Burns, Kansas. And it's an absolutely beautiful instrument. So now you know a little bit about the mountain dulcimer and you can impress your friends. We're going to move on to Bring a Torch, Jeanette Isabella. Bring a Torch, Jeanette Isabella. Next on the list I'm working off of is God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen. Need to explain a little bit about that title, because where you place the comma makes all the difference. If you say, God rest ye, comma, merry gentlemen, which is not correct, but if that's where you put the comma, it sounds like you're saying, you partied enough, take a break. But in fact, the comma is in a different place. It is, God rest ye merry, comma, gentlemen. And what the title means is, may God keep you merry, comma, gentlemen. So a very nice wish for people, especially around the holidays. This song requires me to use a capo, which changes the tuning. On the dulcimer, it actually also changes the mode. That's something you can ask your librarian to look up for you. What is a mode? Oh, by the way, you're welcome to sing along with this, but I'm also going to launch off into a little bit of an instrumental at some point. God rest ye merry, gentlemen, and gentlewomen also. Our next song is Good Christian Men Rejoice, in recent years retitled as Good Christian Folk Rejoice, also known as In Dulce Jubilo. Good Christian Men Rejoice. And how about Go Tell It on the Mountain? I'm also going to launch off into a little solo in this one. Bear with me. Hey, I get to enjoy the holidays too, right? Go Tell It on the Mountain. This next one, I always remember the Charlie Brown Christmas special, where after all the commercialism has been addressed and renounced, they all sing, "Hark the Herald Angels Sing." Hark the herald angels sing. How about It Came Upon a Midnight Clear? It Came Upon a Midnight Clear. I should point out, since you may have just noticed some, there are two different types of wrong notes. There are mistakes. I made a couple just now. But when it comes to the mountain dulcimer, there are also some notes that we have to find some other note instead. You see, the mountain dulcimer is structured on a diatonic scale, which best way to put it is think of the white notes on the piano with no black notes. So there are some notes that are missing. And that's simply the way it's structured. A lot of folk instruments are. If you ever played one of those little Hohner harmonicas, not the big ones with the button on the end, the chromatic ones, but the little ones, those are diatonic. And you might have played it and said, where's that note? I can't find that note. Well, that's because it's structured as a diatonic scale. And the same thing with the mountain dulcimer. So for some things, sometimes we have to fudge to find a different note that kind of sort of fits, or hope you, the audience, don't notice. So just so you know, sometimes it may sound a little odd, but it's actually on purpose. And sometimes it's not on purpose. How about I Heard the Bells on Christmas Day? This one still chokes me up when I remember the story. Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, very famous poet, of course, very disturbed, as many, many people were, by the Civil War when they saw their nation being torn apart and their own families being torn apart and injured and killed. Henry, of course, was in the North, and his son went to fight in the Union Army and was injured in battle. And I believe he didn't die, but he was recuperating in a Union hospital over the Christmas holidays. Made Wadsworth very bitter. How can we be celebrating Christmas with all of this horrible violence going on? And him personally affected since his son was injured. And he contemplates on the meaning of the Christmas bells. And if you follow the verses, you can see at first he is not happy at all. He feels it's a contradiction to be ringing out Christmas joy with all this tragedy going on. But he finds, and this often happens, the more he meditates on it, the more he sees something good and lasting above, beyond, beneath all the other things that are going on. And in the end, he does find reason to rejoice. This, by the way, is one of many reasons you're singing and I'm not, because I'd have trouble getting through this if I were singing it right now. I heard the bells on Christmas Day. I heard the bells on Christmas Day. Next we have an English Christmas carol. The verses I've chosen to include make perfect sense. It's celebrating a ship coming in on Christmas Day, and, well, you have the lyrics there. I left out a couple of the verses because in a very fanciful way, it imagines the ship coming into Jerusalem, which is not near the water, and carrying Jesus and Mary on it. It gets a little fanciful, but at least the verses we have make sense, and we'll sing it. This is a nice, lively song. Little thing in the middle here. I saw 3 ships come sailing in. How about Jingle bells. Years ago, I was playing Dulcimer for a Christmas concert somewhere. This is up in New England. And a gentleman came up to talk to me afterwards. He introduced himself as a direct descendant of the original Mr. Pierpont, who wrote Jingle Bells. And he shared a couple little bits of trivia with me. The original tune was ever so slightly different. To be honest, I can't remember exactly how it was different, but if I could, you'd say, yeah, that's not how it goes. Well, it is how it originally went, but in popular circulation, a very slightly different version was circulated, and that's the one we know today. So, Jingle Bells. There you go, Jingle Bells, with that wonderful old-fashioned verb, past tense, upsot. It really is a verb. It's the past tense of upset. Jingle Bells. How about jolly old St. Nicholas? Jolly old St. Nicholas. I'm looking at a list, by the way, in case you're wondering, what does he keep looking at? Yeah, you can't see it, but I can. But that's all right, because you've got the lyrics. How about Joy to the World? joy to the world. Something we can definitely use, especially around now. How about, let's test your Latin. Adeste fideles. O come, all ye faithful. Oh, come all ye faithful. I'm going to give your voices a rest. I'm going to give my fingers a rest for a moment. Tell you a quick joke. So these folks are gathered for a big dinner in a big hall. And someone says, well, let's have some Christmas carols. And before they can do anything, in rides a person in a full suit of armor riding on a horse. But the amazing thing is, not a sound is made. You would think with all that armor and there's a sword and stuff and the horse's hoofs that there'd be a lot of noise and clatter. Absolutely not. Perfect quiet the whole way. Knight makes a couple rounds in the hall and off he goes. Someone says, what in the world was that? And someone else says, well, you asked for a Christmas carol. That was, the Silent Night. Yes, you can share that one with your friends too. Back to our music, and much to your relief, I have no doubt. How about O Little Town of Bethlehem? There is a true story with this. A minister was visiting the Holy Land during the Christmas time and timed his journey so that he would be coming up over the rise of some hills to behold Bethlehem just as evening fell on Christmas Eve. And he was so inspired by this that he wrote O Little Town of Bethlehem. This is one of those songs where the diatonic scale interferes, but not too much. little town of Bethlehem. I would be in trouble if I did not include that one because every time I do play it, my wife reminds me that was her dad's favorite Christmas carol. And a beautiful one it is. How about O Tannenbaum or O Christmas Tree? Okay, got another one for you. Listen carefully, and you will hear the name of a Christmas carol. You ready? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. You got it? I'll do it again. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Well, I left out a letter. There was no L. Yeah, I know, that's a pretty bad one too. I can picture my friend Wes giving some sound effects at this point. All right, on we go. This one is an instrumental. It is Riu Riu Chiu. That's Spanish for river, river, shepherd. It is a medieval Christmas carol. And again, this is more on the fanciful side of things. The story behind it is that Mary has to protect the baby Jesus from the devil who is trying to capture him. And she has to cross this river, and the shepherd has to help her cross. This is not in the Bible anywhere, but it makes a great story and it makes an even better song. Now, with apologies to the original composers, and I suppose with apologies to the Monkees, because they did a beautiful rendition of it also, I have, let's just say, my own arrangement of it. And once again, I would be remiss if I did not play this, because I know that there is a family out there who looks forward to hearing this every year. Matter of fact, they're the ones that told me and showed me the Monkees version of it. Riu Riu Chiu. Riu, riu, chiu. River, river, shepherd. And if you're watching carefully, yes, this is one that I used the capo on as well. Well, since we had that terrible joke about no L, why don't we do that now? The first no L. Now let's go up. The first Noel. I didn't used to go up at the end, but one time we were doing it as a sing-along here at Northern Dauphin, and by golly, there was a woman with a beautiful voice, and boom, up she went. So I thought, well, you know, if she can do it, I bet some other folks can reach that as well. And maybe with reference to our other really poor joke about the Silent Night, why don't we do Silent Night now? Silent Night. How about Up on the Housetop? Up on the Housetop. Reaching for our capo again for What Child Is This? And of course this uses the tune setting of Greensleeves. So even if you're not familiar with the words, you're probably familiar with the music. What child is this? What child is this? And last but by no means least, and certainly something we've been trying to convey throughout this concert, we wish you a Merry Christmas, a happy holiday, whatever holiday it is that you celebrate. We pray that it is a joyous one. We pray that you can be gathered with family and friends in a safe way. We just had a fly join us, so if you saw that buzzing around there. Well, we certainly wish everyone a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.